What's poppin' T Squad? It's your girl Keisha, and I'm here with tonight's All Tea, All Shade Tamar Get Your Life series premiere review. Okay, you guys, so all of the reviews for Saturday, meaning Love and Marriage Huntsville and Power Book 2 Ghosts Chronologues anthologies, whatever the fuck that shit is called. Anywho, those reviews will be up Sunday, so don't be looking for them Saturday night. I'm having a dinner party here for my birthday, even though my birthday was a few weeks ago. I'm having a dinner party here with my family and friends. I will be videoing it, and I'll probably add it to my home tour video, which hopefully will be up by next weekend. So just an FYI on that. Don't be looking for any reviews Saturday night. They'll all be up Sunday. Also, I need you guys' help. I need another show to add to my schedule. I need a Monday night show to review, or just another review, period. You all know I don't like hospital dramas. I don't want to review anything Tyler Perry-ish. No haves and the have-nots. No green leaf, none of that bullshit. I like superhero stuff, romance stuff, dramas, or whatever. So let me know down below what's a good series you think that I should review, or something that's about to come on that I should review down below in the comment section. Okay, now on to my behind the scenes tea. You know, Tamar has been in the news this past week. She just had a suicide attempt about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago. And now reports came out this week that she and her boyfriend, David, had a domestic violence altercation in the car. David took to social media to tell his side of the story. Here's what he had to say.
Here's the truth. I've been a victim of domestic violence.
Hopefully you guys can hear this.
I was attacked. I was driving on high speed, and I was attacked. A blow to my neck, my jugular. For those of you who know about medicine and the jugular, that's what carries blood to your brain. When you're hit there, it discombobulates you. And I thought I was gonna crash. I was driving fast. I had to call my mom. I called my mom. A 50-year-old guy having to call his mom when he's driving. And my mom started praying. 10 hours in the car, my mom started praying. Only to find out that after the blow, I was being secretly recorded. Something that's illegal and unfair. And the tapes being sent to my family. The tapes of being distressed, in pain, calling my mom, were being sent to my family and other people. Sorry. Anyway, my car was destroyed. I drive a Rolls Royce, many of you know. Almost $30,000 in damage. And I can't really continue to speak about this because the cops are involved. It's a criminal case. Now for the damage, damage to the car, the taping, the assault. But I'll tell you something. Despite all that.
Okay, there was a few things with his story that just didn't make any sense. He says that Tamar hit him in the jugular and that he was discombobulated. But if you're discombobulated, how you have time to call your mama and drive at the same time, but you're discombobulated, you can barely breathe, blood rush to your head. Then he says that Tamar was secretly filming him being in distress, calling his mother, and then sent said videotapes to his family and friends. Why would she do that to further incriminate herself unless she was just having a psychotic episode or some shit? Then the whole thing with I can't talk about this anymore because it's a criminal case, then why the fuck were you talking about it, period? Why did you go to social media? You're not the celebrity here. Why does the world need to know that you didn't allegedly hit her? If you're confident in what you did and didn't do, then you would just handle it in court. It was just a lot of shit that he was talking about. Then the fake trying to act like he was choked up in tears. Girl, bye for nigga. So here is what the blast had to say about the altercation. It said, according to sources close to Braxton, now this is what the sources on Tamar's side are saying. So according to sources close to Tamar Braxton, the ex-couple got into a heated altercation while driving to check the reality star into a mental health facility for treatment. We're told on the way Tamar questioned David about a recent Instagram picture post he shared featuring her 7-year-old son, Logan Herbert. At that point, the couple apparently began arguing, and Tamar told David he was around for the wrong reasons and could not be trusted. The Braxton family values star claims David became irate, threatening not only her life but his own. She claims he said they were going to end up in a murder-suicide. Whoa. According to sources close to Tamar, at that point, the argument turned violent, and she says he grabbed her hard on the arms and caused bruising. During the scuffle, Braxton claims she only grabbed onto him after he got physical. This is what the blast is saying. We broke the story. David filed a domestic violence restraining order in Los Angeles County Court, asking a judge to order Tamar to stay away from him. It's unclear at this point what his allegations against the reality star detail, but sources close to Braxton tells us any claims that Miss Braxton was the aggressor and or abusive are completely false and have no merit. David has been upset and abusive since seeing his own true colors on Tamar's upcoming television show and has been taking it out on Tamar ever since. If this is true, this is the third that we know of domestic violence relationship that Tamar has been in. You know, her and Vince went through their stuff. Now this guy, another guy. So at this point, I'm playing devil's advocate of, is she just attracted to abusive men? Is she abusive of herself, like on some Tahiri type stuff where she does these things and, you know, and she's a part of the problem? We don't know because we're not there. But once again, domestic violence is not appropriate. It is not something that is to be made light of. Whether you're a man or a woman, keep your hands to your motherfucking self. If he was the one that abused her, hopefully she does not go back. Hopefully he is, like I said, dealt with in court, and that Tamar gets the mental health help that she needs, because it's obvious that she has a lot that she's struggling with, especially just watching the series premiere of this show. The last bit of tea I have, Tammy Roman, you know, she works closely with Mona Scott, is being managed by Mona Scott. They work together on a lot of projects. She posted the trailer for the show on her Instagram and captioned it, my beautiful friend girl, Tamar Braxton, I saw your show and have even more love and respect for you and your journey. I'm keeping you lifted in prayer tonight on WeTV. Mona Scott Young, she reposted what Mona Scott Young had to say in her caption. And Mona Scott Young said, Tamar set out on an honest journey of growth and self-discovery to find her highest potential. As is often the case when we decide to step into our light, darkness reveals itself to distract and keep us from being our greatest selves. But darkness never wins, and the truth always, she put in caps, comes to light. We will always root for Tamar as she continues on her journey of healing and finds herself. Thank you to Team Mona Me, Goalie, our incredible producers and crew. And then she said, and before y'all start flooding my comments with hearsay and non-factual opinions, tune in and see the truth for yourselves, then come holler at me. So it seems like we're going to be seeing a lot of, you know, David being a source of contention for Tamar and being a negative force in her life. And so with everything that's going on this week, maybe we'll get an even further, deeper insight on who is the actual problem in this relationship. So let's get to my review. So we start off the episode with Tamar, just talking to the camera about why she wanted to do the show, and she says because she lost herself, she lost everything, her marriage, her home, her recording contract, her family. She's lost everything, friends, and she's just trying to figure out who she is as a person and try to get back to herself and figure out who she is and what she wants and these things of that nature. She says she doesn't know who to trust, which is a terrible situation to be in, especially when you're a celebrity, because you start wondering, is this person using me? If I tell this person is going to end up on the blogs, is this person using me for clout or for money or for fame or just to be in the inner circle or for context? You just never know. We find out that she's going to be working with a life coach or a coach and working on her new album. She meets with Mona Scott in the beginning of the episode to talk. Mona asks her, they sit down and they're in Mona's office, and Mona asks her, was Vincent jealous? And Tamar says that he was, and that he wouldn't let people talk to her, and she didn't work with any producers outside of him, and that he did every song on her album. Wow. That is a lot of control to allow somebody to have over you. That is abuse. The fact that he wouldn't even let people talk to her, like, what kind of shit was that? Like, what in the Ike and Tina is going on? Once again, I used to make jokes all the time about how you gonna let a fat nigga bully you like he can't run. Like, I just didn't never understand like how she was over there fighting this fat nigga. Like, you could punch Vince and take off running. He can't catch you. Like, you could be literally playing hopscotch with his ass like, can't get me. Like, what the fuck is you gonna do? Your fat ass, I take 10 steps, you still on 2. Like, ain't no way in hell your big ass gonna be whooping my ass. Ain't no way in hell. Me and Logan will be fucking you up. Like, no way. So, but if he was doing that, you could tell that was all because of him having insecurities with himself. Tamar is a beautiful woman. She's very nice looking. So he probably was feeling like, if she gets around other wealthy men that look better than me, she'll leave me. Who knows, child? So she said this would be her first time working with other people in the studio. So she's very scared. She says she's shy to sing in front of other people. So Mona asks her, is she taking on too much by doing the show? And an album, because people will say that, have told her that when Tamar is done, she's out. She just cuts shit off. She runs. And basically, Mona was like, look, girl, we investing all this time and energy and money in you. We don't have time to be playing. And Tamar breaks down and cries and says that she's 42. She had it all and she lost it all, including herself, her dreams, her sense of reality, her family, and every girlfriend that she has had for 22 years, aka Tiny, Toya, Monica. She's not friends with any of those girls anymore, but especially Tiny, because her and Tiny came up together. They was friends, best friends, best friends. And they had a falling out over like the last 4 or 5 years, which is very, very sad. And that this is about her finding herself, not only for herself, but for her son, because if she ain't got herself, then who's going to be there for Logan? And, anybody that has a child knows that your child is your main priority, and you have to be present and secure and stable for your children, because you don't want your child to feel like he doesn't have anybody to lean back on, and like he has to protect you. You know what I'm saying? That's the worst feeling to have as a parent. And she is at a crucial part. Like, she is 42 years old. She's not a spring chicken anymore. She's been in the industry for a long time. She has a bad reputation for her attitude and her mouth. So, like, she does have to do a 180 as far as public perception, and everything that continues to happen just is not making it any better, because now you have that stigma on top of the mental health stigma that she's going to have placed on her. It's completely just a lot. So she really did need this show to be like her platform to continue to, start anew. Because when she was on Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother, that was a somewhat good light to put her in, because she was the first black contestant to win, first black female contestant to win. So that was a good light for her. But, she had issues on that show as well. But, this show was really supposed to be her stepping stone for the viewers to see her in a different light outside of her sisters and being, quote unquote, the messy one. So Mona wants to ensure that Tamar doesn't shut them out once, shit gets deep, it gets too hard. And because she said, they're going to be there for her. And she makes Tamar a promise that if she feels like bailing, she has to call her, and that she won't quit. She got 6 weeks. Just stick it out. And I could just tell, girl, no, I just knew it wasn't going to work, child. Tamar then makes her plans that she's pulling herself out of retirement to oversee this whole process. And Mona Scott reluctantly agrees, but she agrees. So Tamar, David, and Logan are at home this Taco Tuesday. They have a house full of guests, all of her gay friends. She hang around a bunch of gay men or whatever, because it's notorious that Tamar cannot keep female friendships. And there's a slew of other people there. And she and David and Logan are in the room together, and she tells David, no, she tells us that David brings out the best in her, and he's this amazing boyfriend, and this, and that. I mean, she's just gushing about this man. So he says that he's a finance guy, and that the only reason he's doing the show is for Tamar. But even when he made that statement, if you paid attention, he couldn't even look at the camera when he said that shit. That's why I knew it was a lie. That nigga was looking over here. Who is over there? The camera's right here. Like, who the fuck are you talking to, sir? So she tells him that she feels like she made a friend in Mona when she met her earlier that day, that, they kind of had kindred spirits, which was good for her. Because you could tell that Mona actually cared, and this wasn't like no loving hip hop shit where she just putting her out there to the wolves. So Tamar is at home with the worst looking finger waves I have ever seen in my life. I don't know who did them finger waves, but they need to try again. They look like some beginner shit at motherfucking her school. Like, them finger waves was horrible. So, and then I just don't like this hairstyle that she got, where she got finger waves all around her, and then she got like a long bang coming like this. I don't know what the fuck is going on with the hair, ma'am, but Tamar looks beautiful with short hair. That short haircut on her, she don't never need to wear another wig, no long weave, no bangs with no long weave ever again. That short haircut is fierce on her. It just brings out all of the gorgeous features in her face. So she meets with her dream coach named Goldie, who works with a ton of A-list celebrities about, unlocking their unconsciousness, their subconsciousness, or whatever. So Tamar is going to have to write down whatever she dreams. Before she goes to bed, she has to do 10 minutes of silence, write a question to her inner self, then go to bed. When she does do these assignments, she can't have sex, smoke weed, drink, no phone, no nothing. So Tamar like, ooh, child, this is going to be a lot. You know what I'm saying? But she says that she's comfortable with keeping things locked away, but Goldie says that that's where all the gold is, because I guess that's going to help her figure out why she does the things that she does, or surrounds herself with the people that she surrounds herself with, or her family issues, or her romantic issues. Like, all of these things will get answered if she goes and delves deeper into herself. I'm going to try this shit, because it was very interesting, because I'm a person that dreams every night, and I have very vivid dreams. I dream in color, and I have the craziest dreams ever. So I'm going to try this. I really am. I'm going to try this and see, like, what comes out of this little things. It's very interesting to me. So Tamar goes to the studio with the producer named Jay White, whose last 2 records have gone diamond, which is huge in the record industry. That means that record has sold 10 million copies. One of that is with Cardi B, and it was somebody else. That is a huge accomplishment. So especially with her being indie now and not even having a label behind her, to work with somebody as his caliber is huge. So she tells him that she can't sing in front of people, that she's incredibly shy, and that she's willing to talk about everything that's been going on in her life on this new album. She then says she wants to get to work, but is scared to sing the shit that she wrote in front of him. And he was looking like, you just said 5 minutes ago, like you were scared to sing, but now you talking about you want to get to work. Like, huh? It was very confusing. It was just like, what, Tamar? I'm just surprised at this whole she's scared to sing in front of other people's shit. Because I've never heard that. I mean, I'm not a Tamar shit or whatever the hell her little people call themselves, but I was very surprised by that. So she explains to David the dream assignment, and that they can't have sex for 45 days. He doesn't like this. He doesn't like it at all, and says that he's a born-again Christian who doesn't know if Goldie's methods are for his own. And I'm like, since when was the show David Get Your Life? This ain't about you. This is about Tamar. This is about you supporting the woman you so-called love and her bettering herself. 45 days, that's a month and a half, sir. Not even really a month and a half. It's a month and a week and a few days. Like the fuck? That's like the equivalent of when a woman gives birth and you can't have sex for 6 weeks. You can't hold out 45 motherfucking days, sir. That's selfish, one. And B, this is something that's supposed to be helping her, and you can't put your needs and your wants aside. This ain't about you, Thompson. I don't know if her methods coincide with my belief. This ain't about you. She ain't talking to you. She ain't counseling you. She's counseling her. So what does it have to do with you? Now, that was one of the red flags that stuck out to me, because I was like, the fuck is you talking about? So he flat out tells her it ain't gonna happen. He not going 45 days without sex. Oh, really? Like, damn. Like, so Tamar was like, what if I told you how important this is to me? And she was being very sincere, very quiet. She wasn't doing all the shit she normally do. And David was like, how important is this to you on a scale of 1 to 10? And Tamar was like, 100. And David says, well, for me, sex is 102. So how about that? So I was like, wow. So he's selfish. Okay, another red flag. And I noticed that Tamar handles him very differently than she did Vincent. You know, when her and Vincent used to always be all of this and her loud talking and da-da. She was very quiet, very subservient, just very like David, you know, talking to him even killed. Maybe that's growth. Maybe that's just her growing up and realizing you can't be doing all that extra shit in a relationship. Whichever, it was refreshing to see her act like an adult for once. But I don't know, maybe that's the controlling shit that people talking about too. But I was peeping that, but I was like, oh, you know, I ain't seeing it for this dreadhead nigga. So the dude, Jay White, the producer, has set up a portable studio in Tamar's house and brought lyrics for her to record. We find out that she's hoarse and frustrated out the gate. Like, she come down there with the musicians, with Jay, with an attitude or whatever, because she's hoarse. I can understand being hoarse and everything like that, but you still should have been professional and not gave everybody else that negative energy, because everybody can feel it in the room. And my thing is, if he's working for you, or maybe this is the thing that Mona Scott set up just for the show, why couldn't you just told him right off the rip, my voice is not here, let's schedule this for another day or 2 days from now? Like, why even have all them come over here? I don't know if he pushed himself by saying, oh, you can still do it, let me come on over there anyway. I don't know, we didn't see that part, but I just didn't really get the attitude part from Tamar. So she gets a phone call from David and excuses herself from the room and tells him that she can't sing and that she doesn't feel like anyone really cares. So that's why I was like, was there something that we missed where she told the dude she wasn't feeling well and he just bogarted his way over to her house? So she decides to sing anyway. And I can even say, even at Tamar's worst, she still sound better than half of these bitches out here. Like, 'cause she sound beautiful to me. Yes, her voice wasn't as strong as it normally was, but she still sounded great. So, but she's highly disappointed. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like what she heard back. She doesn't like the verse on the song. And so Jay asks her how her voice feels, and Tamar says, how my voice sound, with an attitude. And I was like, well, whoa, wow. I was like, rude, like what, like damn, like shit. So he was like, he said, like you're whispering. She was like, glad you asked. So I guess she was feeling like, now all of a sudden you want to ask me how my voice sound. You wasn't even concerned at first, because he was telling her, I mean, just push through it, because a lot of singers do have to push through when they're sick. So she was like, you know, there's been a lot of questions around the table here, but I guess like nobody's asked me how I feel. So he was like, I'm just here to try to make a record. That's what I'm focused on, honey. Like, you could tell he was like, the fuck, like, it was just very awkward. I didn't like watching it. It was like cringy, the attitude, it was just, it was like so much missing context that I can't really place a judgment on who was wrong. But the whole thing was just like, eek. So she talks to Goldie and says that it feels like a waste because she's lost her voice. The whole studio session is a waste. So Goldie brings up her losing her family and says that she needs to stop avoiding it. And by family, she's talking about her sisters. And Goldie says, everybody says you have an amazing voice, but no one is listening to you. Tamar says that, you know, for the last few years, she feels choked, like claustrophobic, like just feels like she can't be herself. Nobody's listening to her. Like, that's a horrible way to be feeling. So Jay asked her, can she push through? And she was like, I don't have a voice. Because he was like, I mean, if that's what you're standing on, then we just going to have to call the day a wrap. Now, based off that little point, it makes me feel like when she initially told him she wasn't feeling good, that he was like, okay, I'm just going to come on over anyway. We just try to work anyway, which is very inconsiderate. You can tell the girl can't sing, like the fuck. So, Logan comes home and, Tamar's very happy to see him. They hug. And then a producer goes up to Tamar and says, we're trying to be very cautious of your voice, but we're scheduled to film until 10 p.m. So she was like, we're not doing this. So Tamar tells the head producer, Michael Beck, what other show did he used to produce? Was it the Braxtons? It was another show that he used to produce. And I think it's something about him I don't like. I remember him being a shitty producer for some reason. But Tamar tells him that, she has the weight of the world on her shoulder. Everything is on her. She don't got no nanny. She don't got no family to call. Her mom ain't around to help her right now. Like, everything is on her. And then basically she going to bed. She's cutting filming. I can understand not having a voice, but contractually, these people got to be here at 10. Hell, if you just got to sit there and just look and write shit on the paper until 10 o'clock, just do it. Just get it over with. Like, you can't continue to be unprofessional and run every time something goes in disarray. You know what I'm saying? So Tamar has Goldie over to tell her about this strange dream that she had about Tyler Perry. So they were at an event. She hugged him, and that's when she realized in the dream, like, her and Tyler Perry went together. So then she said she saw him talking to another woman who he said was an interior designer, and she started going off, and she was like, you fucking with her, you messing with another woman, da-da-da-da-da. He was trying to explain it wasn't even nothing like that, but Tamar was going on, being ghetto as hell. So they started going down a hill, and she's still going off, and then she said they started sliding, and she jumped out of the car before they crashed, and she told him everything would be fine afterwards. To me, that shit was kind of low-key scary, because considering everything that's going on in her life right now, that sounded a lot like what just happened in the car with her and David, the crash, the fucked up car, her getting out, going to, hopefully she still went to the mental health facility, but it just sounded like a foreshadowing of her and David. That's what it sounded like to me, very much, because I'm a dream person. I pay attention to every dream that I have, because a lot of my dreams, especially very significant dreams, end up coming true, and I have deja vu moments, or I've had a lot of dreams where my deceased relatives have come to me to tell me that they're okay, or just to watch over me in my dreams. So dreams are very important to me. So Goldie says that she wants to find out what the power symbol of Tyler Perry means. So she has Tamar close her eyes, breathe in and out, and ask Tyler Perry, why is he there? And so I guess the first word that came to her head was to help her. And he also said because he has faith, and she asked how can he have faith when she has nobody around to help her. And so Tamar gets emotional and stops because it becomes way too deep. Like, the whole thing, she was like, how the fuck is all of this going through my mind? It was just a lot for her to interpret and to digest. So Goldie says, you have a resistance to people helping you. And Tamar is just crying. She's emotional and says the girl wasn't an interior designer in her dream, but an angel to help her. And she didn't listen to Tyler Perry when he was talking and missed the whole thing. And that's how they crashed, because once again, she wasn't listening. She was trying to go and do things on her own. So Tamar is very deeply upset. She's crying. She need a minute. Goldie then goes and tells the producer, Michael, that, they need to take a break for the cameras, because this is some real deep shit that they dealing with, and everything isn't for public consumption, basically. And I really like that lady Goldie for that. But he points out that she's having a breakthrough and that they need to film it for the show. And this is where it becomes life or death or putting on a show. Like, people don't have compassion nowadays. Yes, she's having a breakthrough moment, but you got enough for right now. Just put the cameras down for 5 fucking minutes. So Tamar comes back out and tells the crew that she's, giving them everything from her life over the last few years. She even filmed her birth, but this ain't for them. And she storms out, and she's emotional, and she's crying. Considering the state of her life and where she was at the time, I don't feel like this show was a good thing for her. She should have worked on herself privately. You can tell she was at the cups of a breakdown from the beginning because of everything that was going on in her life. But maybe this show was to help her to see that David wasn't, any good for her, to see the people around her that were not there for her, that weren't genuine. Maybe this show and everything that has happened was to push her in the direction to, be back close with her sisters, because Tony did say that they are all doing well as a family and getting close again. So maybe all this had to happen to get her back to her family and to get this David man out of her life. Who knows? Only Tamar knows. So I just pray that she gets her life in order, not only for herself, but for her son. And, because this fame shit can fuck you up. Like Jay-Z said on his song Hollywood, it ain't for everybody, and that is the truth. Let's talk down below in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about tonight's episode of Tamar Get Your Life. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like, and subscribe. Remember to let me know about what show you think I should review, and there will be no reviews on Saturday. All the reviews for Saturday will be up Monday. Love you guys. Bye.